All right. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. So our next session features Professor Pankaj Jain. He's a professor of philosophy and director of India Center at Flame University. Professor Jain actually embodies NEP. He started he's a trained computer science engineer, started his career in US in the software development industry. Then he decided to actually go to a university and start studying religious studies at Columbia in New York City, and then obviously he did PhD, and then he decided to get into the world of academia. So now, if I talk a little bit more about Sir's career, it spans over 30 years across continents, highlighted by his scholarship in Indian philosophical traditions, sustainability, film and diaspora studies. He brings a multidimensional outlook on how cultural philosophies from Dharma to Ahimsa can inform ethical and systemic academic leadership. So, Professor Jain, we look forward to your perspectives. I know that he's getting ready, but we'll start as soon as logistics are taken care of. So, over to you, please. Welcome to the session.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bajaj. Thank you for organizing this. You and your team. Manish is also here. Rajesh, the classroom support. And welcome everyone to our campus, Flame University, where Manish and I have been working here for like 3-4 years now almost. And also Dr. Bajaj joined recently, 1 year back. You all have been in this field of various disciplines of teaching various subjects. So like Dr. Bajaj was alluding to, my emphasis has been for last over 2 decades, how exactly to, in any field that you are teaching, could be operational research, could be supply chain, could be management, could be philosophy, literature, in any field, how can we go back to our shared Indian roots? If you're teaching management, how can we apply management theories from our examples? Our, when I say Indian examples, right? What can our Indian texts teach us about leadership, for example? So when Dr. Bajaj invited me for this session, I immediately agreed and thought of relearning. Even I have to learn. Nobody is a perfect leader, right? Perfect leader is I guess, a misnomer, kind of a misnomer. We're all trying to become better leaders, even though we might get whatever designations we have, but we are all learning. So it's a shared journey that I would like to share with you and keep learning with you. Right, so when we say dharma or dharma, is not just a Sanskrit word. I know many of you are coming from all over India, so every Indian language has this word dharma, including Tamil, including Asamiya, Bengali, of course, North Indian languages, where we come from at least, Punjabi, Gujarati, Rajasthani, all Indian languages have this word dharma, with similar meanings. Dharma is not religion, that I'm sure all of you would agree. Dharma is referring to this figure, this image here, it refers to, of course, Hindu Dharma. In the sense of religion, it connects with Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism, and Jainism. These are the 4 major symbols of 4 Dharmic traditions in India. But that's not all. That's not just the meaning of the word dharma, right? Dharma means, what does it mean? Meaning of dharma is, dharma refers to the morality, duty, virtue, righteous conduct, and sustaining force, right? And its relevance to leadership is to align our actions with ethical principles to foster trust and purpose. So dharma can inspire leaders to lead, to sustain. I'll read the slide first, then I'll explain more, we'll discuss more. And that connects also with this quotation from Taittiriya Aranyak, Dharmo Vishwasya, Dharma Vishwasya Jagataha Pratishtha. But why did I put the Ashok Chakra here in this slide on dharma? Anyone? Any idea? Dharma Chakra, exactly. It's taken from our tricolor flag, Tiranga flag, which has the middle portion has the Dharma Chakra. Dharma Chakra, that was apparently Dr. Ambedkar asked the constitution builders or flag designers to put that symbol there because he wanted to also make sure that Buddhism is represented on the tricolor flag. So this Dharma Chakra is coming from Buddhism, but also it connects with entire idea of dharma, which connects with these meanings. Morality, dharma is not just religion, dharma is about morality, ethics, and so on, duty. So leaders should have, all of us should have all these great qualities of morality, duty, because that's the meaning of the word dharma, right? Virtue, great qualities, righteous conduct, ethical conduct, but sustaining force. Can anyone guess why sustaining force? And when I say key idea that dharma brings to the table for leadership is lead to sustain. That's my favorite word. But I want your thoughts why the word sustain should be mentioned on a slide for dharma. Any idea? Any guess? What does dharma has to do with sustaining? Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right. Yes. 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 To sustain. Yeah. Okay. Maybe your name and.
Yeah, I am Dr. Sushma, Associate Professor, Central University. With my understanding, just to give it an example, my kids, when I try to teach them shlokas or mantras, for example, when you were having lunch, I was listening, you were trying to say that,
Oh, we were discussing a lot of private things, so I hope.
What struck my attention was that you were trying to emphasize on knowing the meaning of
Yes.
Namokar mantra.
I was referring to his name, meaning of his name,
Okay. So when I try to teach Namokar mantra to my kids, they mug it up.
Right.
That is how parents try to put that into their mind and then make it a daily routine. When you actually said that, actually it struck my mind, then I also should do a little bit of more research and then give them exactly what is the meaning.
With actual, yeah.
Yeah. When you are talking about dharma in context to lead to sustain, first is why should a child understand the importance of dharma? Because every dharma has its own teachings. Of course, it aligns with every dharma at the end of the day. Right. In terms of sustainability, for example, every dharma teaches non-violence. It teaches.
We have that slide.
It teaches non-violence. It teaches respect. It teaches tolerance, etc., etc. Now, why is it important? Because we are living in a world which is dynamic, which is multilingual, multi-religious. So, for example, if I am talking about tolerance, if I am not teaching my child tolerance through dharma, then the child might become agile and may not be having tolerance. So, if the child has to sustain in the world,
right,
or say the practical world, then the child need to have that quality, or rather a characteristic. So that is my limited understanding.
Okay, thank you for your inputs. All those are, every answer is the right answer, right? Partly right. What I had in mind was to again go back to the root of the word dharma. Dharma or dharm comes from the Sanskrit root dhri, which means to sustain. So dharma is intrinsically a sustaining force, which I mentioned here in the, I don't know if I can point it, but the definition, the last portion of the definition is, dharma is the sustaining force. What does it sustain? It sustains the entire cosmos, entire universe, human affairs, environmental resources, and even cosmic resources. So a leader is one, and as ma'am said, that dharma is one, which can sustain whichever institution that you're leading. It should sustain that institution. It should sustain your role in that place, and so on. So sustenance or sustainability is inbuilt in the idea of dharma. In the environmental context, it is about sustaining the natural resources. Our mountains, our rivers, our trees, our animals, even bugs, even insects. So all those meanings are inbuilt into the word dharma.
Sir, in context to what you said, sustaining the environment, I think if you're talking about non-violence, which is the crux of
We're coming to that,
Jainism, not killing animals, not killing even the minutest creatures,
right,
it ensures that they are not extinct.
Yes.
So that is another.
We're coming to this. Non-violence, we're coming to. Yes. So dharma, so it is beyond the word religion. It is beyond even ethics. It is about sustaining. One more point I can keep talking about. I wrote 2 books on this topic, but I can talk a little bit more. Dharma word was first mentioned. If we talk about Hindu texts, we already were discussing Jainism, but in Hindu context, dharma was first mentioned in the Purush Sukta of the Rig Veda. But that was 10th mandala of the Rig Veda when first reference of the word dharma appears. What about the earlier 9 mandalas? In the earlier mandalas, the reference was to the notion of rhythm. Rhythm gives us the English word rhythm. So Vedic rishis, Vedic sages, as they were performing yajnas and rituals, the philosophy in their mind was that as they do rituals in proper fashion, the rhythm of the cosmos will also be maintained in proper fashion. So human actions were always interlinked with cosmic forces, cosmic entities. Rhythm gives us rhythm, dharma gives us the sustaining force. I thought I'll share that also with you. There's such a great connection to rhythm and dharma. All right, next. So now taking different meanings of dharma and connecting with leadership, right, in each slide. So first, dharma, as we saw, dharma is duty. So it is Arjuna's duty, dharma, to fight to restore dharma in Kurukshetra and in Hastinapur. I'm saying Kurukshetra because I'm speaking English. Hindi mein we'll say Kurukshetra. English mein we add an A. Kurukshetra mein, or in Kurukshetra, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, first line of the Bhagavad Gita begins with what?
Yada yada yada.
Dharma kshetre Kurukshetre samaveta yusava mamayika pandavescha kim akurvat sanjaya. So dharma word, dharma kshetre. Kurukshetra is dharma kshetra, to restore dharma in society. So he was supposed to, that could be a picture of Ram or even Arjuna, right? That his duty was to restore dharma, to restore order, not restore any religion, right? To restore cosmic forces, to balance cosmic force, to make sure that ethics and morality are all properly maintained and managed and followed in that society. So do your role selflessly. Leadership application, embrace responsibilities without attachment to outcomes. That we all have heard so many times. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phal hetu bhur mate sangastvo karmani. Sang is not to go with somebody, but sang means attachment. That attachment to outcomes is the biggest problem for all of us, especially for our leaders. If Arjuna was always worried about the outcome of the war, he would have not fought. That was his biggest anxiety. You all know so well. I'm just repeating for my own revision. Also, we all know this very well. Right? So attachment is the problem. Duty is to be done selflessly and without attachment to outcomes. Focus on the greater good, not personal gain. Arjun Vishad Yoga, in the first chapter, Arjun is worried about his personal immoral action that he was forced to do. He was supposed to kill his own teacher, his own cousins, and so on. But that was his personal demerit, personal loss. But larger good, he forgot in the first chapter. So Krishna had to tell him 17 chapters just to make sure that he never brings in first his own ego, his own merit or demerit, his own pap or punya to the larger discourse to restore the society. Right? You're all nodding and you all know already, so many things already know you, right? Very well known to you. But a leader, so yes, sorry. Yes, Dharmraj Yudhishthira. Yes, exactly. In what sense? Yeah, that's a great question. We can have full class on that, right? That was in the Yaksha Prashna. When Yaksha encounters all 5 brothers and he asks question, all 4 of them die. Yudhishthira stays alive till the end. War has not even begun when they are still in the forest. Yudhishthira stays alive. Why? Because he could answer Yaksha's questions appropriately, following the dharma. That first, I want to make my 4 brothers survive. Then I will come in the end. He was the most steadfast practitioner of dharma. Right? When he is going after the war, when he is going to the heaven, a dog is following him. He says, I will not enter heaven if this dog is not allowed to permission. So he was, I think, the best steadfast practitioner of dharma. But when he is forced to make a pseudo-true statement, they say that his wheel of his chariot also touched the ground. Kali Yuga began from there. What was that incident? Do you remember? Dronacharya. To kill Dronacharya, you have to say, Ashwathama hato narova kunjarova. Either elephant or As soon as Drona hears that, he renounces his weapon and Dronacharya is killed by Arjuna. So even Yudhishthira was forced to, that's why probably, because he was a role model of practicing dharma. He was yes. Yeah. Right. That's a different topic, but yes. So a lot of Mahabharata is, nobody could remain pure white or pure black, right? Pure evil or pure good. They all had these various shades of dharma. So in the context of the cosmic good, one has to sacrifice one's personal gain, personal merit, personal gain. That is the message of the Bhagavad Gita, as I understand. What I understand is what I'm trying to share, right? There could be many understandings, but this is one understanding of the Bhagavad Gita. So, example, a leader prioritizes team growth over individual accolades. The team should sustain, right? Like, let's say we are all playing for India, right? India should win, right? My century, मेरी century पूरी होती है नहीं होती, लेकिन if India is winning, then I have to sacrifice my. Hard to implement, very easy to preach or easy to mention, easy to speak, but when it comes to practicing it, it's always a challenge. Now, this shlok also is very interesting and very important in this context. Swadharme nidhanam shreyah pardharmah bhayavah shreyat swadharmah vigunah pardharmat su anutishtat. What's the meaning? Meaning is swadharme nidhanam. If you have to choose death while practicing your own dharma, choose that. Pardharma, but practicing somebody else's dharma is bhayavaha, to be avoided. It's terrifying, horrifying. Don't do that. Shreyat swadharma, vigunaha. Even if you're doing your own dharma with not so much perfection, stick to your own dharma. Pardharma, better than pardharma, somebody else's dharma. Anutishtatat. Stay, be seated, be steady, steadfastly practice your own dharma. Here, dharma again is not religion. It's not about one should not convert to other religions because this should. No, that would be completely different, wrong meaning. What they're saying here is, what Bhagavan Krishna is saying is, practice what now in the, what we teach our children. Find your passion. Find your true self. Know thyself, as Socrates said in Greek philosophy. Try to match your career with your passion, with your true dharma. Right? Sorry. I'm still here. Yeah. Sleep mode में चला जाता है screen. Anyway, so practice, find your own self and stick to your passion and follow it. Never think of changing your passion. So like he was suggesting, Dr. Bajaj mentioned about me, I didn't know what my passion was until I reached the US, until I made my dollars, until I worked for IT companies. After turning 30, I realized my true passion was in humanities. But it was too late, I lost a lot of time. But then I renounced IT career and found my dharma and duty and tried to practice my dharma. Now, hopefully, I'm doing it better than IT. So that is what they are saying. Bhagavan Krishna is saying, practice your passion. Find your passion and practice. Don't try to do something else. All right. This one is more prominent in the Bodh Dharma or Buddhism. Compassion or karuna. Karuna is a very prominent term in Buddhism, which teaches what principle is to practice empathy and kindness. Karuna and compassion and wisdom. Compassion and wisdom are two pillars of Buddhism. Leadership application, listen actively to team members' concerns. Listening is extremely important. Listening, just listening without judging the person, right? Listening is very easier said than done, but at least we should remind ourselves we have to do this. Foster an inclusive, supportive work environment, right? Regardless of all those, whatever identify marks are. And impact is that will build loyalty and strengthen our team cohesion. Compassion, if you practice. So, karuna sarvam vishven sannadati. Compassion resonates in the entire universe. Compassion makes the universe work, something like that. Which is, I think, self-explanatory. And compassion is a required quality in a true leader. Not in a boss. Not in probably in a politician, but in a true leader, compassion will be inbuilt. This, I think, clear. Next. Now your topic, your favorite topic. Yes. Yeah. Old habits. Yes. Third topic is non-violence. Ahimsa is also dharma. How ahimsa is dharma? Even though Jains proudly say that ahimsa paramo dharma, a highly popular term for all Jains, but the line actually comes from part of the line in Mahabharata, 13th chapter, 117th section, 37th verse, says, Ahimsa Paramo Dharma, a text that is all about violence, text that ends with violence, really celebrating ahimsa also equally. Right? Ahimsa means what? Jainism's core tenet of non-violence extends to not just physical violence, but intellectual violence to be shunned, verbal violence to be shunned also. Hopefully not. Let's just read and then let's discuss. Yes.
Telling Arjuna that you should kill whatever the people before you. And here we are saying non-violence.
So let's see if we can make sense of both, right? So how does it involve in leadership? It resolves conflicts with respect and fairness.
If I may,
yeah.
sir, आपका doubt था कि when Krishna was motivating Arjuna to kill his own kith and kin and gurus, why is that Krishna himself is advocating? But before actually the war started, he exhausted all his means, all his efforts to ensure that the war is not happening. But they exhausted. They tried their best. हिंसा धर्म की रक्षा के लिए That's also an interesting one.
In different contexts, different principles may apply also, yeah. We should try our best, and even Krishna tried this, to resolve conflicts with respect and fairness. When all options were exhausted, like you said, they had to resort to war. And leaders, so especially in the leadership's case, we should avoid harmful criticism, public criticism. We should provide constructive feedback, and we should resolve conflict with respect and fairness. I think it applies even more in higher education administration. I think you're all emerging or budding or already leaders in higher education field, where there are more clashes of egos. Everyone has a PhD. Everyone has this large ego and whatnot, including all of us. So how to resolve those conflicts? That's where I think ahimsa is to be. There we can't say be like Arjuna. We have to resolve conflicts with ahimsa there, I think. Then benefit, create a safe space for innovation and trust. Academicians cannot exist without innovation, right? Every day we try to inspire innovation in our students, in our research, in our publications. There, if we are not in a non-violent environment, we can't really work, we can't innovate. Innovation can happen only in a peaceful, non-violent space, in my opinion. And so trust and innovation both. So ahimsa paramo dharma comes from the Mahabharata. All right, let's go next. Yeah, in the context of Jainism, the idea is to not eat meat, but not to harm even a bug. Right? If I see a cockroach in my house, and if my first instinct is to kill it, that would be absolutely incorrect, unethical. So I should carefully usher it outside my house without killing, because every bug, every being has equal right to survive, just as I have right to live. That is in the context of Jainism. It's not just vegetarianism, but it's about not even, because one step further. In the Jain context, even fire has soul. Fire has soul, earth has soul, air has soul, and water has soul. So if I'm wasting water in my shower, that is violence. If I have extra lights in the room, then what is absolutely needed? Violence to fire. If I just need one fan, and if I use 10 ceiling fans, that is violence to air. And if I harm Mother Earth, so even Hinduism may we say Mother, but even in Jainism, if I'm misusing Earth or abusing Earth, then that is also violence. Violence creates more karma particles on the soul that will further delay your moksha. So Jainism goes to that extent of non-violence towards even fire, earth, air, and water. And space. Space to bhi aur zyada ho jata. When Shubhanshu Shukla went into space, If we abuse space in any manner, then that would be violence to even space from Jain perspective. All right, chalo, next. Then let's take Sikhism's example. How many of you have eaten food at a langar in Gurudwara? I have eaten in Salt Lake City. When I went for Parliament of World Religions, their Sikh community fed more than 10,000 speakers every day. Foreign scholars, they don't even know them, they're not even Indian, they're not Sikhs, but they were feeding tirelessly more than 10,000 people every day in Salt Lake City, which some of us may not even have heard. Where is Salt Lake City? Salt Lake City is in Utah, which is like a desert place. There, that parliament happened, same parliament that in 1893 where Swami Vivekananda had spoken, which all of you are well aware of. That next parliament happened in Salt Lake City, where Sikhs were feeding. I don't know if there is any Gurudwara in Salt Lake City, but I don't know how they arranged. That's a supreme example of seva. Seva parmo dharma. That's a supreme example, I think, right? So, servant leadership. Have you heard of this word, this phrase, servant leadership? You must have heard. That a leader should be like a servant. Gandhiji used it. Gandhiji se pehle Swami Vivekananda also used it. I have the last slide on Vivekananda also. Gandhiji, I don't have a slide, but yes, of course. That a leader should work like a servant. Very easy to talk about, very easy to say, but to practice, right? Servant. Serve others. That is the true leadership. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, by our medical practitioners and medical experts. Yes. Yes. So lead by example, supporting team needs, be servant to your team as a true leader. As a mentor, empower others to succeed. I think Bill Gates said this. True leader is one that creates new leaders every day. That is the definition of true leaders, according to Bill Gates, which is a great definition. Leaders creates leaders. That's it. That's the definition of a true leader. Outcome. Cultivates a culture of collaboration and growth, where everyone collaborates and grows together. Seva Paramo. Sikhism symbol you are, I'm sure, well aware of. All right, next. Equanimity. Let's start with the Sanskrit shlok. Bhagavad Gita se, chapter 2, 48 shlok. Yogasthaha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhi asiddhayoho samaha bhutva samatvam yog uchyate. What a great definition of yoga. Yoga is not just on Yoga Day, International Yoga Day on June 15th, I do some yoga. That is not yoga. That is also yoga. But great definition of yoga coming from Bhagavan Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. What? Yogasthaha kuru karmani. Perform your actions. Act in yoga. Every action should be done as a yoga. Sangam tyaktva. Renounce your attachments. Dhananjaya, Arjuna, oh Arjuna. Siddhi asiddhi. In your defeats, in your successes. If you fail or you succeed, stick to samatvam, equanimity. Samaha bhutva. Practice that and become that. Our photographer is also listening so carefully. I know he's also interested. Pavanji, he's taking all your photographs. Pavanji, yes. Samaha bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Practice that equanimity, balance of mind. Again, easier said than done, right? Easy to say, but to practice is a challenge. But that is the definition coming from the Bhagavad Gita. Equanimity. So advantage, inspire. Okay, now let's read the slide. Principle. Balance in success or failure. Siddhi, asiddhi. Right? How many of you do know Sanskrit? A little bit Sanskrit at least? Sanskrit? Arre bapre, bahut kam. Minority mein hai. Sanskrit is always in minority. Anyway, balance in success or failure. Leadership. Stay calm under pressure. Kitna आसान है बोलना बहुत आसान है, right? Stay calm under pressure. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Samatvam, equanimity. Make decision with clarity, not ego. Arjun was trying to make decision in the first chapter using his ego, based on his ego. Arjun Vishad Yoga. Even the chapter name has Arjun. Why Bhagavad Gita first chapter should start with Arjun? Because we are all partly Arjuna sometimes, right? Our ego comes forward. और मेरे को क्या फायदा होगा? मैं क्यों लड़ूं? मेरा तो नाम खराब हो जाएगा. मैंने अपने गुरु को मारा, मैंने अपने कजिन्स को मारा, अपनी ईगो को लाया, पूरा चैप्टर, पूरी भगवद गीता बनी. So inspire confidence during challenges and not ego. Make decision with clarity, not ego. If his mind was clear, these are the same people who were dishonoring thousands of women, Kauravas and Shishupal and Jarasandh. So it is my duty as Kshatriya to restore Dharma. Simple. But he forgot that and his ego came in between. So Krishna had to remind him that this is Dharma. You have to do your duty. So Samatvam. He forgot Samatvam, I guess, in the first chapter. All right, chale aage, next. Leaders. All right, this is my favorite. Also, interconnectedness. This is coming from the Buddhism also. And of course, everything in Buddhism, Jainism is also in Hinduism. But this especially is highly pronounced in Buddhism and also in Hinduism and Jainism, everywhere. Principle, interconnectedness of cosmos. How is cosmos interconnected from Buddhism's perspective? Any idea? Anybody would like to try? Buddhism says, listen, if you don't, I really enjoy talking about this. Buddhism says, in the entire cosmos, every particle has the Buddha nature. Why? Because every particle at the most fundamental level is completely empty. There is no solid matter. We think it's a solid matter or there's solid matter. Nothing is solid from Buddhism's perspective. Also quantum physics perspective, everything is vacuum in the most fundamental level. It's a dance of energy or Shiva's Tandav. So everything has Buddha nature, everything is empty at the most fundamental level. So every particle has Buddha nature. That Buddha nature reflects infinite number of Buddhas in the cosmos. It's like infinite mirrors if they are placed together. If we place two mirrors here, what will happen? They will reflect each other. Infinite images you will see. Isn't it? You know, right? This one. Now imagine infinite mirrors in the entire cosmos. Every mirror reflecting infinite images and infinite reflections of infinite images. That is how interconnected the cosmos is. Yes? To be a Buddha, exactly. Yes, absolutely. 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 And Rishi and Buddha and Mahavir and all the great qualities, everyone, we all have that potential. So in that respect, also we are interconnected.
That's why we have Aham Brahmasmi. Like
Aham Brahmasmi in Upanishad and so on. But Buddhism takes it to in a very nice different context of this seeing each other in all the particles, not just human beings, not just living beings, but every particle of cosmos reflects every other particle of cosmos. So that should drive a leader to be more interconnected to his team, his corporation, his society, his country, and his world, his or her, sorry, right? Our country, our world, right, is all shared. So value diverse perspectives in decision making because of this interconnectedness. Everyone has a perspective that connects with Anekantvad also, that every perspective is partially true, if not the full truth, but at least partial truth. Align team goals with organizational and societal impact, right? Seeing larger vision. Yes? वो पूरा कास्ट सिस्टम पे पूरा आपको एक सेशन करना पड़ेगा. नेक्स्ट टाइम सर रखिए एक टॉपिक. ही ऑलरेडी अप्रूव्ड. और गूगल फॉर, मैडम गूगल फॉर या यूट्यूब पे जाके आप सर्च कर सकते हैं पंकज जैन कास्ट सिस्टम. इतना सर्च करिए आपको सब उसका आंसर मिल जाएगा.
Yes.
They should. That's it. We all should. We have to do. We should. You already said we should, and that's it. That's the answer. That's the answer. All right. So, result of this would lead us to leaders should drive sustainable, holistic success. Holistic means comprehensive success. Everyone is equal, everyone is involved, and everyone drives towards a common goal, which will make the entire team more sustainable, more holistic. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Many people say this wrong. Please correct them. If you hear anyone saying Vasudev or Vasudev, that is wrong. It is Vasudha, not Vasudev. Vasudev to Krishna hai. Vasudha means earth. Entire earth is like a family. Vasudha eva Kutumbakam. The earth is a family. जिसमें पवन भाई भी हैं, मनीष भाई भी हैं, गौरव भाई भी हैं और आप सभी, हम सब हैं, right? Vasudha Kutumbakam, coming from Maha Upanishad, chapter 6, verse 71st. All right, chali next. So, practical steps. Last 2-3 slides. 2-3 slides. Practical steps for leaders. We all have to, right? Speaker and listener, everyone, we all have to reflect daily, align our actions with ethical values, practice empathy, right? Kind of review for what all we covered so far. Practice empathy, understand team motivations and challenges, stay humble, acknowledge mistakes and learn from them. Again, easier said than done. कहना बहुत आसान है, करना, implement करना सबके लिए मुश्किल, right? And serve others, be a servant leader, prioritize team and organizational goals, balance vision, combine purpose with practicality. Okay, this is such a great line. I learned while designing this PPT, I also learned a lot. Atmanaha prati kulam vishvena sannadati. What a great line I found. I discovered as I was preparing. From me, my personality should develop and involve my lineage, kulam, and eventually the entire cosmos. And I should resonate with the entire cosmos. That kind of a vision, our ancestors and our wise people had that kind of vision from each one of us. Like you said, everyone has the potential to be Buddha, everyone has the potential to be Rishi, and everyone has the potential to be such a universal person. If we are really practicing true leadership goals, true leadership principles, as inspired by Dharma. Like Buddha. I guess Buddha's image is very relevant here. Buddha was born as a prince. He was eating meat and enjoying whatever luxury that was offered to him in Lumbini. But how he transformed and became a universal figure. Buddha is our India's first export to the world. Was the Buddha? I've never been. If you ever go across to Thailand or to China or Japan, you will see 55 feet tall statues, murtis of the Buddha in Japan. When Swami Vivekananda reached Japan first time, he has tears in his eyes. That how much love people of Japan are showering on the Buddha. How he became a universal figure, breaking barriers, breaking nationalities, breaking ethnicity. All those barriers were transcended by the Buddha and his wisdom. That's, I think, a great example, in my opinion. All right, next. Final. So key takeaway, Dharmic principles offer timeless guidance for ethical, empathetic, and effective leadership. Call to action, integrate duty. All these are the meanings of Dharma. Duty, compassion, equanimity, sustainability into leadership style. And finally, ending with the Jainism's quote, Paraspar upagraha jivanam. Every soul thrives by being interconnected and being helpful to every other soul in the universe. Not just human being, every other soul. Soul involves fire, air, water, and earth. Every soul is connected to me, and I survive by remaining interconnected with every soul in the universe. That is coming from Tattvarth Sutra, a Jain text, 2,500 years ago at least. Okay, that is all I think I have. And finally, ending with Swami Vivekananda's quote, do not try to be a ruler. A leader should not be a ruler. He's using that gender-specific language of that time, so excuse that English, but he is the best ruler who can serve well. A leader must serve. Leader must be servant leader, not for ruling. Leader is not to lead, not to rule, but to serve. That is what, before Mahatma Gandhi, somebody mentioned Mahatma Gandhi, but before Mahatma Gandhi, Vivekananda had already talked about these things, and he inspired his fellow friends and colleagues to become renouncers, right? And even today, more than a century, almost 2 centuries now, they are still trying to practice those kind of principles. All right, that is my last slide. Thank you. And sure. Yes. Old habits. Yeah, यहाँ से करना है. हाँ जी. Sorry. हाँ, मैं इनको डॉक्टर बजाज को बोलूँगा.
So I think the question what Madam asked.
Sorry, I missed it.
About why when the
hierarchy,
when the belief is same and the teachings are same. I think the major, my take on it is, the major reason is Dharma is to be practiced. But what we Indians do is we just follow it. If we are really practicing, for example, let's say we all believe, for example, बिकॉज आई एम अ हिंदू, आई टेक इट, हम ये मानते हैं कि कण कण ईश्वर ने बनाया है. जब ईश्वर ने कण कण बनाया है तो दूसरे धर्म से या दूसरे लोगों से इतनी ईर्ष्या क्यों? इफ यू आर प्रैक्टिसिंग इन ट्रू सेंस, then I don't think we'll have any issues for that.
Should, highlight the word should.
Yes.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
So I have a question. I think and believe, I'm from Kerala. I think and believe that the text that you have mentioned, the characters that you have mentioned, and their attitude, their decisions, I read all these texts. And the characters, their decisions, the text, some of them are unethical and apolitical. Then how can you explain national education policy by using these three texts?
Sir, I didn't even refer to national education policy. I didn't refer to national education policy at all. These are beyond any government or any party or even any religion, right?
So, when you interpret, we have different kinds of interpretation.
Right.
For all these kind of, one is good, other interpretation is not good.
I probably am having difficulty understanding your question.
You didn't get my question?
Yeah.
The first question is, okay.
You said something on national education policy, but I didn't even talk about national education policy. Yeah.
So my question is that you have mentioned three texts here.
Three
texts.
Mahabharata,
and about three religions.
Four
religions.
I mentioned all four.
Yeah. A text and some of the characters that you have mentioned here. And the actions, the attitudes of those characters, maybe I think and believe that maybe sometimes it is apolitical.
Apolitical.
Okay.
And
unethical.
Sir, apolitical means non-political.
Yeah.
So non-political they were.
Maybe.
Okay. So I didn't even touch on politics. What's the question?
Not in the political sense, sir. Maybe gender biases, their attitude, their behavior.
So apolitical, if I am understanding his question right, it's politically inclined.
Politically inclined they were?
Yeah. For example, if I am understanding his understanding, then he went to say that they wanted to establish Pandava's authority.
The text.
Okay, that would be a very skewed understanding of the Mahabharata. The first slide itself began
unethical. Yeah.
और गया.
Especially the Mahabharata, some of the situation when you are analyzing situation, the attitude towards women, there is a patriarchal.
Sorry, patriarchal. Oh.
Okay. There is no gender equality.
So I briefly alluded in the presentation, in the beginning of the presentation. Also, I said that the entire teaching of the Mahabharata, this slide, I think, no, this slide, yeah. So in the beginning itself, in the third chapter, the teaching is what? To re-establish Dharma, which means to remove the people who were the most misogynist of those times, those who were torturing women, kidnapping women, and so on, all kinds of unethical behavior. People like Jarasandha, Shishupal, Kans, Kauravas, Duryodhan, Dushasan, what they were to be removed. So that is the teaching. And that violence is not just to re-establish the kingdom of Pandavas. No, kingdom of established in Dharma, on ethical principles. That is the whole teaching.
Maybe I'll just add on to his point, and not that I am on one side of the other side of things, but just to be, and he can correct me if I am not interpreting him correctly, right? His point is, for the very fact that those people who have been portrayed ethical are actually unethical. That is what he's trying to say. So here, violence was there to remove this so-called wrong people, but the people who have been portrayed as ethical to remove the wrong people are actually patriarchal. That is essentially, I think, he's trying to say.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's where.
So our humility should be humility that we have to practice as students, speakers, and everyone is a student, that what principles we can derive beyond the personalities. That the presentation is not on people, not on personality, not on Krishna, not a Krishna that was butter thief or whatever, right? Or who was whatever. The principles, what principles we can derive for our purposes as we are emerging leaders or already leaders or whoever we are, at any stage we are, what we can learn from these Sanskrit verses that are never, they do not practice attachment to one person. This is not a person-centric tradition we are talking about. This civilization itself, not just India. India, China, and Japan. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Many, many chapters. There was next chapter also. 16th chapter. Right. That prejudice should not be there.
I would say not ethical stand, but a right stand. And in terms of doing right, he may adopt some unethical if need be.
Seemingly unethical.
Seemingly unethical.
Seemingly unethical.
In fact, Mahabharata also emphasizes the karma.
Thing
Yes.
should be added.
Yes.
That ethics is again subjective.
Yeah.
In fact, Lord Krishna जी भी इस बात से नहीं बचे कि द्रौपदी गांधारी.
Context sensitive. Yeah. Right. Right. So we have to go back to Sanskrit and texts, read it in original language. That would be the best. Yeah.
Even Lord Krishna paid price for being unethical because he was cursed by Gandhari for not having kids because she lost her 100 children.
So Krishna had a brutal end.
Yes.
He was killed by a hunter.
Very brutal.
Hunter saw a deer, but that was Krishna's legs. He was पाँव ऊपर से सो रहे थे. उनको लगा कि किसी हिरन के सींग हैं. शिकारी ने मारा तीर. कृष्ण के अंत हुआ. It is beyond personalities. It is not about Krishna. It is not about Arjuna. It is about principles. Yes. Anything else? Anybody else? Correct. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Ego and all that. Yes. That's it, sir. I think done. Thank you for listening. Yeah. Oh,
Excuse me. Can I get this PPT? Okay.
Sure, my question. Obvious. Policy, we have.
यहाँ पे आना है आपको, ये गैप में।
यहाँ पे
I always find this Dharma is the most difficult to follow.
Thank you. Thank you. तो ये यहाँ रखता हूँ। गुड, चलो करते रहिए।
I will do that.
Thank you so much.
कल सुबह तक मैं आपको कंफर्म कर दूँ।
Okay, okay, sure. I would like to explore the possibilities of joining your university.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Santosh.
so
Professor Santosh is the first person.
so that's what I thought. Seeing him, I thought he's the founder of the faculty. I'll just explore that.
Santosh, our co-vice chancellor is not on campus. He's
Yeah.
in the US, but you're in Bombay, right? You can always come.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know coming and all, but it will have
And
to
your
depend.
department will be sociology.
I can set up your gender studies department here. I have a lot of experience.
I'm just thinking con karta
You
hai.
don't have it now here, I
Possibly.
think. Yeah.